This is breaking news.
Governor Murphy is announcing plans for local government relief funding in New Jersey.
Weather. So he wanted me to make sure I made that point. Good morning, everybody. What a treat it is to end my week in Burlington County in general, and in this great community of Evesham in particular, and Mayor. This is the quintessential Jersey town, so I'm incredibly honored to be here. A huge thank you to the mayor, to Heather, to the members of council for hosting us today. Let's give them in particular a big round of applause. Before I acknowledge some other folks and jump in for a few minutes as to why we're here today, I just want to reiterate something that's just breaking. I'm honored to have selected my friend and a great lawyer, Paramel Garg, to be our chief counsel, succeeding Matt Plotkin. He's been with me from the beginning, and I'm honored that he has accepted that. It was a very tough decision to make because there were several. It's an extraordinary legal team that I'm honored to work with every day, and there were several worthy candidates. Secondly, we put the COVID numbers out today. It's 800 and something new cases, so we're not out of the woods yet. I can't tell you exactly how many new were in Burlington today, but Burlington's got just under 7,500 cases since the get-go. We're still in the struggle. Anybody who tells you otherwise is not paying attention to the facts. So I just want to say throughout this, you all, Mayor, as well as the county, Tom, have been extraordinary. We've worked, as the Brits would say, cheek to jowl with you, as well as with our congressional delegation, with our legislators, Don. And I want to give Mike Delamater a shout out, who's in charge of intergovernmental affairs and has been right at the point of attack on that. And we're not out of the woods yet. You know, we've crushed this unlike almost any American state. But it's a little bit like when you have first and goal. That's great, but you're still going to get in the end zone, and we're not in that end zone. I also want to give a shout out to Dr. Zakiya Smith-Ellis. Zakiya, you give us a wave, who is our chief of policy. And Rob Long, is that you? I didn't recognize you with the mask. Rob Long is here for the Department of Community Affairs. Rob Long does not live 10 minutes from here. I know where Rob lives, but Zakiya does. She's a proud Burlington County resident. So to all of you, I'm incredibly honored to be here today alongside Congressman Andy Kim, who has been one of our state's great advocates in the House of Representatives to deliver the support and funding our state needs to come back from this pandemic stronger, fairer, and more resilient than ever. Andy sits not on one, but on two committees that have a direct impact on our state, the House Armed Services Committee and the House Small Business Committee. But over the past number of months, it is his service on a third committee, the House Select Committee on the Coronavirus Crisis, that has been so vital to our working partnership and to ensuring that our communities and our people get the support they need and which they deserved. I'm also honored to be joined by the guy sitting to my left, another close friend, Congressman Donald Norcross, who's been one of the staunchest fighters for South Jersey and indeed our entire state. He and Andy are a strong 1-2 punch on the Armed Services Committee, and in Donald's case, on the Education and Labor Committee, which is critical to our future and our working families. And Donald just doesn't sit on the Labor Committee. He embodies organized labor and working families because he is himself a proud member. Again, it's also a proud moment for me to be and pleasure to be joined by my friend, Deputy Director of the Freeholder Board, soon to be County Commissioner Board, Tom Pullian. And Tom, thanks not only for the weather, but I'm looking forward to referring to you in that new title very soon in January. To you and your colleagues, Felicia, the rest of the team, please give them our best. So we're all pleased to be together to announce an initial $60 million investment of federal coronavirus relief funds to provide direct relief to local governments for costs they have incurred in fighting this pandemic. Some of our counties and municipalities qualified for direct relief from the federal government. However, many others did not. In fact, 12 of our 21 counties did not, and that includes Burlington County, and it includes Evesham Township as well. The new, what we're talking about today, local government emergency fund that we are creating today is about ensuring that all of our communities are treated with equal respect. So over the past 7 months, and Mayor and Heather and council members, I don't need to tell you this, but many municipalities have taken on millions in unanticipated and increased costs. Everything from, and this is a partial list, but to give you some idea of what you've been up against, public safety and health-related expenses, COVID-19 related overtime, increased residential and health-related garbage collection and sanitation services, purchasing remote working technology, signage for residents to know how best to contact local officials regarding our response and recovery, and retrofitting public spaces so they can be reopened, among so many other pandemic-related expenses. So through this local government emergency fund, we can ensure that these costs are covered without the entire weight being placed on the shoulders of local taxpayers through higher property taxes. Now, to be perfectly clear, and Rob is one of the senior guys at DCA, we will have in place strong safeguards to ensure that these funds are put to their proper use, and the department will use a variety of metrics to ensure that these funds are distributed fairly and reach the most affected communities across our state. But for hundreds of communities across our state, as I mentioned, in the 12 counties that did not qualify for direct assistance, we know these funds will be a welcome lifeline to them and to their taxpayers. Throughout this process, Andy Kim and his office have been tremendous partners in making sure that the needs of New Jerseyans have been kept front and center in the ongoing discussions in the Capitol. He is, after all, New Jersey's only representative on that special select committee, on the coronavirus crisis. And he has made sure that our entire state has remained his focus. And to me and my staff, not to mention his constituents, the congressman has never been more than a quick phone call away. I want to say this as strongly as I can. This $60 million spread across those 12 counties, both at the county level and municipal level, including right here in Evesham, this does not happen without Andy Kim. I don't care if you're a Democrat, Republican, unaffiliated, and neither does he. This does not happen without him. He has been unrelenting in getting this money. Now, as the House continues to work on the next round of coronavirus relief, his voice and Donald's voice just as strong and just as powerful alongside of him, and the voice of New Jersey will be more important than ever. And I know they are not going to stop fighting to bring us back our fair share. So with that, back to you, Mayor. To you and so many of your colleagues across the state, I am so proud that our administration and the Department of Community Affairs, in particular, under the leadership of the rockin' Lieutenant Governor Sheila Oliver, is here to help you and your taxpayers in the face of this unprecedented crisis. And again, to you, Andy, I extend my thanks for all you've done and will keep doing on behalf of your constituents here in every New Jersey, and likewise, Donald, to you and yours. You're another warrior, with two warriors sitting right there to Don's right. So with that, it is my pleasure and honor to bring up to the podium your congressman, the singular, the one and only, the reason why we're here today, Andy Kim.
Thank you, everyone, for coming here today. Thank you, Governor, for joining us here in Evesham to be able to talk about such an important contribution to our community here. I have been so proud to be able to work alongside Congressman Don Norcross, the New Jersey delegation, to be able to deliver for our state during such a tough time. We know that we got hit early on, that we were the center of this epidemic in the entire world at the very outset of this in our country. We've been through a lot together. And our delegation has worked tooth and nail and fought tooth and nail for us to be able to deliver everything that we need and deserve here in New Jersey across all of our counties. That's what this is about today, is just fighting for what is fair and what we need. What we have gone through has been a national security crisis. It has been an unimaginable death toll and suffering across this nation, and we have felt it right here in Burlington County. We have a lot that we need to be able to do, to be able to heal, to be able to recover, and this funding is essential for that. I'm really grateful for the leadership of the mayor, of Tom and the entire team at the county level, for all the township council here, because what we know is that there's no single level government alone that can solve the problems that we're facing right now. If ever there was a time where we work together for common cause, putting aside the partisanship, it's right now. In this national security crisis, it demands for us to be better and to be able to treat our constituents, treat the people in our town as the neighbors, as the family that they are. I'm proud to be here, standing here today, because I grew up just down the road from here, over in Kings Grant, just down Barton Run, where my mother and my father still live. This is the community that raised me. The reason why my mom and my dad chose Evesham to raise me and my sister is because of the great schools, the safe community, and that's exactly what it is. It's a community. People looking out for each other. Growing up here, no one asked me if my family were Democrats or Republicans. We were just people here, growing up here, going to Little League here, hitting my first home run here. This is what I love about Evesham, what I love about Burlington County. So as we hear and we're talking about how much money is coming back, the millions of dollars to Burlington County, the millions of dollars to other communities across our state, let's not think about that in terms of just dollar signs. Let's not think about that in terms of just talking points that are out there for us to show what we're delivering. We think about it in terms of the lives that are being affected and the people who are going to benefit from this. People like my mom and dad, who again still live over in Kings Grant. People that I've been worried about, as both of them have pre-existing conditions. My mother, a nurse right here in the community, hasn't gone to work in a long time because of fear about the virus. It has changed my family as it has all of yours. What we need here is every resource that we have available through this crisis to be able to do that. Congressman Norcross and I are committed to continuing the fight for each and every dollar to come back to New Jersey. It is what is fair. We know that already New Jersey doesn't get our fair share back from the federal government, that we only get back about 81 cents for every dollar we put into the federal treasury. What we're asking for is just what is fair, especially during this crisis. So I feel incredibly humbled to be here, to be able to stand here with the governor in the town that raised me, in the district where I have the chance to be able to represent the place where I went to kindergarten, where I'm raising my two baby boys here. All of us are here because we have our hearts in this location, in this town, in this county, in this great state. And all of us will continue to fight together to be able to get through this crisis. And if we do that right, I am certain that we'll come out on the other side of this crisis stronger than we were going in, because that's what this state is about. God bless New Jersey. Thank you.